All right. Well, we are just about ready to go live here. Thank you all for joining us today. We are super excited to be sharing with you the next Sariditty Creative Collection box launch. And I've got the amazing Sariditty right here. Hey, Sarah. I'll unmute you so people can hear you too. How does that sound?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. I wanted to say really quick, well, so I'll put us both on the screen. One of the things that I get so excited about is this gorgeous picture behind me, and I'll make it really, really big. But this is basically kind of the story to what this box is all about. So
Mm.
I'll let Sarah tell you all about it, but I wanted you to see the picture so you could kind of put the story together. And then one other thing is that really cute little freestanding lace design that you saw there on the screen before we got started is your free gift. So we're going to be emailing that out to everybody that signed up. So if you didn't sign up already and you just found us today, then there is a link that I have in the comments or the description of the video. So grab that, sign up, and then get your freestanding lace design. We'll be emailing that out here shortly. So let's bring Sarah back on. Sarah, let's tell them all about the inspiration, what we're doing here, and then dive into the box.
As you can see, I like color. It's all around me. um, so yeah, this is our third box, and we've had a lot of fun with it because it brings in the patterns. Here's the book that Stacy was showing you the picture behind. This is the cover of my book. It's called Rainbow Quilt Color Method. So it's 15 quilt patterns, and it does go into how to use a full spectrum on your quilts. But then every single pattern is also going to have a follow-up option if rainbow isn't your thing. So maybe all blue, you know, a series of blues or cool tones or complementaries, holiday, floral, whatever it may be. There's different ways to figure out how to use your fabrics to make a quilt pattern something that you want. And you're going to see even with today's quilt that's the feature, they're both in rainbow color, but you're going to see how going full spectrum versus a consolidated, very saturated tone of colors is going to change even the whole use of the rainbow. So that's what I love about this book is the beginning. There's a whole bunch on actually like color theory and how to use your fabrics to make your quilts have the best impact visually to either yourself or the recipient of it.
Which I
Uh,
think is really, really important. I mean, I think anyone that's picking colors for a quilt, the safe bet is probably to pick like a fat quarter bundle because they've done it for you. But then it's the question on what goes where. And I
exactly.
think that that's the color theory part. Yeah.
Right, right. And so when in doubt, grab a bundle that a designer has curated because designers tend to have an eye for color. And so they're going to know what greens and yellows and pinks go together without looking barfy. But in using the beginning of the book, then with that has the color theory, the color comprehension in it, you're going to be able to go to your color swatches and find your blenders and everything. So even these fabric swatches I have here on my color card, you can see how it's a whole array of colors. It's not the full rainbow, but they visually go together because I've used that color theory to know how to differentiate between tones, shades, and tints. And that's all in there. It's fun. You get like a
I love
little
it.
PhD when you get through that part. Incorporate well, last time we did the Tutti Frutti templates, the cutting templates for the Tutti Frutti quilt. So if you got box 2, then you should have gotten the templates to make this quilt here. That's Tutti Frutti. And we showed it, I think, in a couple different variations as well that weren't necessarily rainbow. I have one that's all watercolor floral with aqua and sort of a tone on tone white. So it was pretty, and I don't have it in here, of course. And then I showed another one, I believe it's on my social media. It's the Tutti Frutti template with my High Flight collection that literally is arriving to stores this week right now. But that collection, it's all aviation based, and it's greens and blues and grays, and it's very It's very just cool and soothing and not at all the rainbow explosion that you see around here. But so with that, we did the Tutti Frutti quilt. So it had the triangle templates. So we're carrying over into this box, and I have a ruler set, a quilting ruler set then that you can use on the Tutti Frutti quilt top. And we've got a whole bunch of things. So how about we just sort of dive into the box, see what's in it, and then go from there.
I love it. I think that's a great plan.
All right, here's the book. And just in case anyone wants a little reminder, I'll do a quick visual. That way you can see all 15 patterns. A close-up kind of all the 15 patterns that are in here. So there's a whole bunch of them. But that said, when I talk about the trickle quilt in a little bit, this is the trickle quilt right here, okay? With all the flying geese going in sort of
So fun.
that way.
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah,
bear in
because you
mind
can
when I
do
talk
that.
about trickle, this is what I'm going to talk about when I am going to show you something else that's in our box 3 that goes with this quilt. Can't wait to show you. Okay, I'm going to set it down. And at any point, if people, do they have the ability to write in questions if they have questions?
Yeah, so I've already gotten some comments and questions. Someone
Okay.
said that they had that book and they love all the bright colors. We did have a question come in, kind of asking about the content in the boxes and if it's economical to go ahead and just buy the item separate as opposed to getting it with the embroidery that they don't have.
Okay, yes and no. Here's the thing though. You could, on certain things, say you just want the ruler and this certain pattern,
Yeah.
there, you're maybe $20 away from the entire box cost, which is going to
Yes.
have like another $100 of things in it.
Yes.
So it's like you may not have an embroidery machine now or a long arm that has digital quilting now, but what if you do down the road? Or what if you go to a show in the next year and you
Yeah.
get a good deal on one? So for me, I mean, I'm like every other quilter. Like, I buy the stuff that I don't need. You should see what's around me over here on these shelves. I buy stuff that I don't need now, but I tell you what, I will figure out a way to use it at some point.
I love it. Well, and I
So,
will say, as we go through the items in the box, keep in mind that the total value of this box is over $200.
right, right.
So you're getting a lot of value in it, but you can then decide as we're showing it what items you can't live without.
And I'll say this too, and this is just me because I'm a one woman show. Like, I don't do promotions throughout the year. I don't do a whole, hey, if you order now, you get 10% off. I just don't do that. So I would, and blame me if you want to, I don't have the time or the manpower to do all of that. But this is one way that you're basically getting a huge discount on items of Sariditty things that otherwise I'm not going to give you, because I love you. I love all of you. I wish I could do those things, but I don't have time in life to even maintain. I'm wearing gross, scuzzy socks with holes in the feet. That's how, like, you can't see down here.
That's how busy you are. You can't
I
even
know.
go, you don't even have time to go buy new socks.
We got makeup today, y'all. I did this for you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So let's dive into this. And at any point, if anyone has questions, holler. So this is the beautiful, pretty box that, you know what, even up on the shelf, like I think it's pretty because depending on which way you line it up, you can, ooh, maybe, there we go. We can inspire, motivate, and create. Can you kind of see that? There we go. We'll tilt it so the light isn't showing. So you can have that showing to you. You can have the stitch, press, quilt, repeat. If you just like the prettiness of it, I do personally. It does look nice on your shelf if you're storing it, and that way you know where everything is. But there's other goodies inside. Let's go ahead and open this one. All right, so first of all, when you order your box, you have to make sure you know what thickness ruler you need for the quilting rulers. And so I'm a 1/4 inch, AKA long arm. Yes, I'm on by Bernina 735, but it can use the 1/4 inch with the 72 ruler foot. So you can get the 1/4 inch or long arm. You can get the high shank or the low shank, and you just need to know which you need when you get those.
Perfect. You know,
So,
we just had a really great idea come through.
what's that?
Jenny said it's time for you to make Sariditty branded socks for everyone.
Trust me, that might already be happening at some
The color, I can just imagine how colorful
point,
these socks
right?
will be.
Okay, so let's do this. Can you all see right here okay? Awesome. All
Yeah, it
right,
looks great.
we're gonna open this, and I love everything that's in this box. There's so much good stuff. So there's always gonna be like a little intro letter, and while it may seem like cliche, I truly mean every word that I write in here. And then let's see here. I will say this, box 3, Sari did a boo-boo and she apparently didn't format her font correctly. So your apostrophes and inch apostrophe, double apostrophes, they're going to look weird because they didn't print out. That's my fault. Sorry. So there's our welcome letter. This is super fun. So this is new, especially for those of you who have had box 1 or box 2. You've never had something like this in there. This is going to be a freestanding lace design. It will be emailed to you when you've purchased your box. And this way, with the lace design, it's essentially this size. You can stitch it out and you can hang it right here. We did that full circle, so you can hang it on a Christmas tree maybe, if anyone's going to be doing that sort of decorating here soon. And you can also do a version that's smaller and you can make dangly earrings. So all you need to do is get a French wire from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something and just get the little metal French wire. And it's smaller. It's not this big because that would be, I don't know, maybe 1984. That would have been cool. But yeah, it's a smaller version and you can hang them.
Yes, 1984 is when we got the big danglies.
You know what? Let's not knock it because yes.
I feel like it's coming back. There's a lot of essence in the style right now
I
that
am all right with it. I am so on.
yeah.
Okay, so let's open this box. This one is jam-packed, like jam-packed. All right, these are the 4 fat quarters. These are all Sariditty fabric I designed for Moda Fabrics in case no one is aware of that. And so these 3 are all from the same collection called Legendary Love. It came out, I think, earlier this year, maybe April. I don't remember. But I thought they were so pretty because they blend well into box 2's colors as well, if someone still has those fat quarters. But they're just sort of fun. They're sort of like wintry, not necessarily Christmas because it's not red and green, but it could blend then into like spring as well. And with that fuchsia and magenta, you could kind of even lean, a little Valentine's-y if you wanted to. But I think this has kind of the winter holiday color scheme to me without being in your face Christmas or anything like that. So these are the 3 fat quarters and I love them. I'm going to set them over here. Okay, what else? All right. Oh, I can't wait to show you this one. I've got to move stuff so I can show you. So this is a cutting template called Hexometry. And I don't know if you can see it very well in here. Can you see the template in there? It's a half hexagon and it's pretty big, if you can see that. I mean, that's my hand. So it's a pretty big half hex. The cool thing is with this template, I include the pattern already to make a quilt top with it. And obviously you can do any color combination you want. So on the cover, it's that ombre diagonal fade of rainbow. But then the one I did on the back, I used, I want to say I used 2 layer cakes to do this one, but it has the info inside of it. It's a very, very simple but fun pattern to do. And I'm going to show you. Do you want to go ahead and see the one quilt I have made up right here with it?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. We love your eye candy.
It's fun. I did this one a few years ago. This was when I designed for Hoffman, California Fabrics. I'm going to scooch y'all back so I can hold this one up. What I love about this quilt is you can square up the edges or you can zigzag them with the binding. So here is, let's go backwards. I'm going to roll y'all upwards. There we go. Okay, here is Hexometry. Isn't that fun?
It's so fun, and I love how it all comes together.
And if you look closely, you'll see with every hexagon, there's a left half and a right half. So every left half on this is a very saturated form of a color, and every right half is a paler, very, very high tinted version of that color. So it's still rainbow, but it starts to play into the saturation levels as well to make the eyes move throughout.
Oh, I love that.
And the borders, I just think that's so fun to do. The jig-jaggy border.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. That is really fun.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really not difficult to do, y'all. If you have just, and I did straight cut binding. It's probably simpler with bias cut. I just did straight cut binding. And every time I got to one of the 120-degree indentations, I just came down and then kind of twisted it on itself and came back up. So it binds just, I
Oh,
mean,
really?
it binds fairly normally. It's not that big of a deal at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the hexametry quilt, and you can truly get this thing cut out and pieced together within a weekend, honestly, because it's big pieces and you just end up doing long, long columns, and then you match your seams anytime you match column to column. So that's an easy one. Okay, let's keep going. What else have we got? Let's see here. Well, we have more pretty eye candy that kind of goes through things you can do. But then on the back, you know what? I won't even show you the back yet. Well, sure. Not yet. Let's pull this out first. The back has to do with the included long arm rulers or quilting rulers. I say long arm instinctively because I'm a long arm person. But these are the quilting rulers. So this is the Paradigm 60-degree triangles. So it's a 3-piece set. I've already got some unwrapped so I can show you all of those. I know that glare is not awesome. So it's 3 pieces. This is an updated, revamped version of my original Paradigm 60-degree triangles. They both still work the same. They still give you everything the same. I just wanted to use less acrylic to kind of, I mean, I travel with these. They get heavy. So that's kind of the point. But this way I can show you also how you can use it and finagle it and all that. So that's what's on the back side of the pretty sheet is all the info on how to use the triangles. So you can use them on 60-degree triangles, but for my mathematicians out there, what happens when you have 6 60-degree triangles? You have a hexagon. Okay. So it all works together. I love it. I'm a huge nerd, believe me. And then I do want to show you too. So this little triangle in here, you can certainly use the so I'm talking about this one. You can certainly use the outside edge of it to quilt, but you notice you're going to have a rounded tip if you do, which isn't the end of the world at all. However, if maybe you don't necessarily want to quilt with this one, I mean, I like it. Plus, it has the really cool Sariditty logo, which is all based off of my free motion quilting type style. But I thought I would cut ribbon, which I just cut it. I'm going to go ahead and tie it in a knot. Oh, how about we do it this way? How about we do it this way? Because I'm clearly can't tie a knot right now with people watching me. So how cute would this be? Tie this. And just because I have my little Christmas tree in my sewing room right here, I'll pull it over so you can see it. I just dug it out of the basement today. Wouldn't that be cute as a little ornament for like sewing area or quilt shop or craft room, something like that? So here we're going to put that on here. We're going to bring here. We'll rotate this way you can see it. And there it is. Ta-da! I'm a nerd. Whatever. It's cute. It works. You can still quilt with it. But
oh, that's so fun.
Isn't that fun? Okay, what else is in here? Ah! Oh my gosh, so many good things. Okay, we are focusing on the roulette quilt for this box. So let me show you the photo of roulette. And then that way I've got the actual quilt here I can show you as well. But this is the roulette quilt. All right. It's really kind of nice if anyone is afraid of curves because each wedge, there are 16 wedges, each wedge has a very, very slight curve. So again, let's do math. If I take a quarter of it, that's a 90-degree angle. Okay. If I divide that in half, I'm at a 45-degree angle. And if I divide that in half, so I'm talking one wedge, that's a 22.5-degree angle, meaning I only have 1/16 of my circle here. So it's very gradual, and you'll see that when I show you the actual quilt. So these are really, this is a good one if you want to get into stitching curves on your machine and you're new to them, because they're very, very simple. And then this is also, this pattern is a really good intro to foundation paper piecing, because the wedge here that has the triangle in it, it's only 3 pieces. And then same thing, if you opt to do the borders, they're only 3-piece foundation units that join together, join together, join together. Also, see that little triangle right there? Remember the trickle quilt that I told you about? Okay, keep that in mind. I'm going to show you how these work together. So this is what we're focusing on for this box. So there is the embroidery collection. So this is, if you're familiar with the Westerly rulers that Sew Steady owns, they also do embroidery now. So those are all the digital designs for the long arm or in the hoop. And this is the Roulette embroidery collection. And there are all sorts of things in here. They're really fun and pretty. I can't wait to show you on the quilts. In fact, how about I pull the quilts out right now? Do you want to see them? Let's do it.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's move things over. Okay, here is the one that's actually in those photos. This one is full spectrum and it's 64 colors. So it's the full rainbow where every wedge is its own hue of color, and it goes from super, super faint and it gets darker, darker, darker. So this is the beginning. Now, if you look closely, I'm going to show you some of these. Here are some of the patterns that are in there. So there's different feathers that fit inside of the triangles. Now again, think back to box 2 where we had the Tutti Frutti templates. And if you have the book, you're able to make the Tutti Frutti pattern, or you can make the freebie pattern that came with box 2. But this right here would fit inside one portion of that Tutti Frutti diamond. So you could do top and bottom. This might be one of my most favorite designs in the whole world. And this one's going to take us back to box 1. If you got box 1, do you recall the Lotus and Pebbles quilting ruler? So here is that lotus shape. And then you can see some pebbles in here. So what I did when I designed this pattern was I wanted to incorporate that ruler to give me my spine and my form for, those are my dogs. You're going to hear my dogs. But I wanted to give myself, you know, that fun shape then to set my feathers within this wedge. And once we did it on one side, I was just like, let's just mirror image it to the other. Let's turn it into a digital design because it's so fun to stitch out. And I'm telling you, I have it on the back of my chair under these quilts. I already have my denim jacket ready to go. I'm going to put it on my hoop and stitch this out on the back of my denim jacket. And I think I might even use like a really pretty sparkly pink thread, perhaps, because I think it's going to look really cool. Let's see here. Here are some other of the heart design, or heart triangle designs. And then I'm going to show you another quilt that has more designs put into it. Are those all the same? Those ones are all the same. All right, so there's that. Oh, the center. I have to show you the center. These designs are in it too. So look at the ring, the colorful ring. Do you see that feather wreath going around? So that one's a fun one to do. And then the very center, which let me flip the quilt around so you can see it, I think, a little easier on the dark fabric. Can you see that center design? And that is actually, let's see here, that's this one. So it's the feather and then a really, really small star blossom, which that's another quilt pattern in the book. And box 1 had the quilting panel, the fat quarter quilting panel that had the big star blossom on it. So everything kind of like goes around Robin and attaches and connects. And I try to make everything kind of work and be cohesive when I design things. Here is the other roulette quilt. Now this is still rainbow, but it's only 16 colors and they're all very saturated. I have a dog at my feet staring up at y'all, by the way. All right, here is this one. And let's look closely. So again, this is a different design. It's in the embroidery collection. It's based off of that lotus and pebbles. So you can see it going around the ring here. And then here's that star blossom in the center, bigger. Let's see here. There's all sorts of fun things in here. There's the triangle of, maybe if I turn the light down, can you see it a little better? Let's do that. That way you can see it with the shadows. So there's a triangle of pebbles that you can fit inside of your triangles. There's that little guy that I set inside of there. And if you look, that is your freestanding lace design that we showed you
there
at
it
the very beginning. Yeah.
is.
And then instead of the curl, you know, for the freestanding lace, we enclosed it so that way it can hang or dangle from something. Well, let's see here. There's these two as well. So there's this stitch out, and then this one's a little more basic, but it's fun too because I think it adds some fun geometry to the otherwise kind of feathery and floofy designs. So here are some of the designs stitched out. And how about this? I'm going to keep showing you things that are in the box. You're also going to get, because I've got more to show you. We have so much to do. All right. You're also going to get this fat quarter panel. It's a pre-printed panel. And it's going to have info on how to use those embroidery designs to quilt it and practice these different sections. And you can use the ruler as well if you want. So that said, let me show you a couple of those panels already quilted up. So here's one. So there's that wedge, and you can finagle that design a little bit to squeeze bigger if you want to, or you can shrink it just a little if you want to have more room. Maybe you want to use your foot to kind of echo around it and quilt it in. Here are some of those triangles quilted out. So there's that freestanding lace design, that one. Here's one of the big feathers. Here's that wreath going around. So that's with the lotus and pebbles ruler as the basis. And to do that, if you did just have the ruler and you don't have the digital version, you're just going to use the center seam here to center up that lotus shape in your pebble on each one. And then you'd come over to the next one. Do that one, pebble, back down, move it over. There you go. And then there's that star blossom in the center. Here's another one that a gal did in class. So see how this one is stretched out farther. This big wedge is stretched out farther than the one I just showed you. And then there's that fun little guy. And then this one, let's see here. There's half of the feather wreath just playing around, half of the feather wreath, and then half of the lotus and pebbles just to kind of play around and see how those stitched out. But here is the panel all done. So I'll show you a little bit today. I don't have my embroidery hoop set up on this machine, but I do have my ruler fit. So I'll show you how we can use the 60-degree triangle ruler and kind of work it into being stitch in the ditch and also straight edge. So this is our panel. We'll use that in a minute. Okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. There's so many fun things. And then let's see here. So with those fat quarters, if you have another fat quarter from box 2 or another one that blends, or perhaps you have 4 half yards, we've given you a little freebie pattern to make a mini tree skirt. And I love this. I love pink and green apparently. But this is all on the back. It also shows some of the designs that are on the embroidery design file. And if you open up the entire embroidery packet, everything's going to be inside of here if you open up the booklet. And that said, for those of you who are new, here are all the design file types that are on there. So pretty much everything under the sun can use this. So here's the plan for quilting out my tree skirt that I've got pieced together. I'm going to show it to you. And then I'm going to show you how to put together some of these things. Oh, because there's one more thing in here I haven't shown you. So there's that. But in order to make that, you saw the quilt. Like that would have been a huge 60-inch tree skirt if we had used the pattern that's in the book. Not everyone has a 14,000-foot Christmas tree. Or for me, like I like just plants everywhere. So sometimes it'd be nice to have like a little small skirt to put around a plant, even just to catch some of the water drips. So here's the mini roulette set. This is a cutting template set. It's only 3 pieces, and it's just going to be the 3 pieces that you see in here. So 1, 2, 3. And there are 2 options then. You can do all 3 pieces of this and make yourself a 46-inch diameter tree skirt, or you can just use the inner 2 pieces. I believe that's the A and the B piece. Yeah, if you just use the A and the B piece, then you'll be able to do a 31.25-inch tree skirt. And I suppose you could just do a single one if you wanted to and have a really teeny tiny. It'd be maybe about 12 inches or so. I could measure it if you need to know. So that's the mini roulette set to help you make 2 different tree skirts. And you know, 'tis the season. I feel like we're all in holiday prep mode at this point. Last but not least, call me silly, whatever. This tissue paper is some of my favorite ever. I ripped it, so that's on me. But if you look at the tissue, these are all Sariditty designs based off of ruler work and free motion. So this is fun that if you want to press yours out and even, you know, tack it to the wall or your bulletin board or fold it up and look at it, and you can use it for design ideas as you're using some of the design files, the embroideries and the rulers in there. So these are super fun. I love that tissue so much. Okay, let me show you the tree skirt that we got put together. And by we, I mean I handed Mama Diddy the fabric and I said, here, I don't have time. Can you do this, please? I'm awful. Okay, here is our tree skirt. Now at this point, is anyone afraid of curves? I hope not.
Well, you're going to tell them how easy it is to do curves.
I am. Here we go. Isn't that fun?
I love it.
Here are the 3 colors, the 3 fat quarters that are in box 3. And then I added in my fabric from box 2 as well. Now, that said, I did have a half yard in order to make the big version. You do need a half yard of the 4 fabrics to do the 46-inch or the 45-inch tree skirt. You're good with 4 fat quarters if you just want to do the 2 layer. So this will be going onto my long arm post haste because I really can't wait to quilt it up. But here, I'm going to put it around this little tree so you can kind of see it. Let me set it down. This is going to be really cute. Okay, let me show you. Let's get the light back on because I think at this point we're good with light. Sorry. Here we go. Let's come down here to the tree. And there, once it's quilted, isn't that going to be so adorable? Can you see my scuzzy socks with holes in them?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
It's really cute. And so even though you might think 45 inches is really, really big, it's, I'm telling you, it's smaller than you think. Especially once it's quilted and then gathered around. I don't even have a formal tree base on this guy. It's just the metal stand. So if it were actually around the way it should be, and here you can see me for scale, hopefully. You can see my scuzzy socks. So I'm not a monster huge, but I guess I'm sort of tall for a girl, but you can see it's not a huge tree skirt. And I think it's going to be really cute once we get it quilted. But
no, I think that's perfect.
That said, I do want to show you how easy it is to put together a couple pieces of it. And then also, let's show you the original roulette cutting template set. So if you want to do the actual quilt, this is the big roulette template set. This you can order through So Steady. And she might have a code for you, Stacy. I think you might have a code if they want to take advantage of a Sari never offers you sales, but here's a sale discount code.
And then I will also say that we do have an opportunity to win one. We are
Yeah.
giving away that roulette set. If you get your box and you do the hashtag, what's the hashtag, Sarah?
Isn't it, is it Sariditty unboxing?
We're gonna have to
Double
double
check.
check the hashtag.
Stand by. Here we go. We're gonna do hashtag Sariditty box 3. But
There you
show
go.
yourself unveiling it or unboxing it, that whole thing. Use Sariditty box 3 and somebody will win. You want to do this, what, December 1st? Do we want to do a drawing or?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and give them because there's going to be time to get those boxes if they're
Yeah,
ordering today. We did have another question come in. Somebody
sure.
asked, this is great timing. Thank you guys. One person asked about the quilting instructions. They said, if we don't have embroidery, is there instructions on how to ruler quilt this with the tools in the box?
So as far as instructions, I mean, let me show you the one sheet that is going to help you with using the.
And then we do have the practice panel in the box, and there
Right.
is some instruction in the practice panel as well.
So the sheet of paper that looks like this on the front, on the back, that is your info and instruction on how to use those Paradigm 60-degree triangle rulers. And that's truly the only thing in the box that correlates together ruler-wise to the quilt. Is I'm looking specifically at those the 60-degree angles. But that said, you can do all sorts of things with a 60-degree angle. And
we have that practice panel.
And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
I was like, where did it go?
thought so.
So then we do have the practice panel that we're going to use here in a little bit as well, where I can show you how you can practice on some of those triangle shapes. But even if you don't have the digital version, I mean, personally, I do recommend getting the Lotus and Pebbles ruler. It's super fun. You're not going to find that ruler design anywhere else. I've yet to see that one anywhere. But it's a lot of fun then, like I showed you, how you can set up the Lotus and Pebbles. And like I said, just use the ruler and use your seam lines as guides for where to place your ruler to center up designs. So you can certainly do it with ruler work. Absolutely.
And if you don't have the Lotus and Pebble ruler already, like you didn't get box 1, then it's definitely a must-have ruler. It's so much fun. I think it makes such fun designs. Yeah.
And they have a coupon code somewhere in the box, right? That they can use to get it.
Yes. Yeah.
I think so. I'm not going to say it out loud because you have to order the box to get it.
Gotta get the box. So another question came in. Someone asked about if there was a subscription option available for this box. So should we tell them what the plan is for next year? Yes.
Let's hash this out. Okay. As of yet, this year it was a subscription situation. I have really overcommitted myself for 2026, and between next week and August of 2027, I think I'm in almost 30 locations. I'm talking, there are some weekends I'm afraid I might come home and not have a husband waiting for me because I've really overcommitted. But it's okay. I love sharing this with you all. That's why I've done it, because I will be on the road teaching ruler work, digital stitching, piecing, everything. I mean, I'm talking from Boise, Idaho to Dallas, Texas to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We are all over the place over the next few months. So the plan for next year, we're going to do 2 boxes. So they won't be an actual subscription, but we're going to make sure that it more than makes up for the lapse in time. So the box will have oodles and oodles and oodles of stuff in it. That way, if you order it within the first, we'll figure out the time frame. Let's just say the first 2 weeks, whatever it may be, you will get a sort of a subscription promotional price on it. And then going forward, it will be up just a little bit, but it will still be way better as like a total package deal as opposed to getting things individually.
And then keep in mind, anybody that has already signed up for a subscription, we are going to go ahead and
Pause those.
pause the subscription, and
Yeah,
then you will just have the opportunity to purchase as the boxes come about.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, for all y'all who were the subscribers, I apologize for that weird sort of like, ooh, interruption in what we had planned. But I don't want to not give you what you deserve and try to commit to every 2 to 3 months getting a box out just with the schedule. And that's on me. So I'm going to own that one, but I'm going to make sure what you do get is fantastic. So fantastic. So yeah, next year, I think we're just going to do 2 boxes. But that said, 2027, we're going to call that the year of Sarah, which means I'm going to focus more on me and design. So then 2027, we should be back on track for the subscription, the quarterly subscription.
I love it.
That is the plan.
Ooh, someone wants to know how they can see your schedule. Maybe they can get to one of your events.
Oh, I need a web designer who can update my calendar.
So if you
But
have your calendar, I will add your schedule to our calendar.
lovely. I'm just going to, okay, y'all, you're just going to tune into So Steady's website. I'm
Okay.
emailing Stacy where I'm going, and that
Just
way.
send me your schedule and you can go to the events page on our site and see where Sariditty is going to be all year long.
Thank
That'll
you.
be good. That'll be good for me too, because then I'll know where you are.
Yeah, and then if we can incorporate some more So Steady events for
Yeah.
all who are really wanting to do those, which I will say this, in February, I will be in Boise, Idaho. We're doing a 3-day event, and it's based off of roulette. So one day we're going to work on piecing a section of the quilt. One day we're going to work on all different ruler designs. So not just the paradigm 60-degree triangles. We'll bring in the lotus and pebbles. We might bring in something else because February, what do we think of in February? Hearts.
Hearts, hearts.
So we might bring in the Valentine ruler set for that one as well. And then day 3, it's going to be digital in the hoop stitching with the Roulette Embroidery Collection, as well as encouraging everyone to bring a random piece of something they might want to embroider, aka bring a denim jacket. I think it would be super fun, and I'm going to get mine done so that way you can see it.
Love it.
So yeah, there's going to be all sorts of things. We will get the schedule to So Steady so you know. Now, let's go into this because I don't want to take forever, but at the same time, I want to make sure y'all feel kind of like locked and loaded, ready to go to use all of this. Okay, we've got the box. We're just going to set it over here for now. Okay, so I showed you the tree skirt. I already got pieced together. It was my mother. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman who helps with all sorts of things. But the next one I want to do is going to be rainbow because I need one in rainbow, right? So I'm going to use the 16 colors and I'm going to make it rotate around the frame. If you can kind of envision it to be, see how the colors, now granted, this has the geese in the middle, which I'm not doing, but it's going to be wedge, wedge, and wedge, but I'm going to have it be, they rotate 1 to 1. So it'll be like pink, 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 purple, 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 red, 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 that type of thing. But you can do whatever you want, obviously. Okay, so here are the colors I pulled. I want you all to get a feel for what we're going to do here. What do you think?
I love it. That's so Sariditty.
I know, right? So there are 16 wedges in this quilt, meaning there are 16 fabric colors. I want you to realize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I pulled my colors, these 8 are within the cool spectrum, and these 8 are within the warm spectrum. So I made sure it's full rainbow, but it's not heavy on the warms or the cools either way. So that way your eye will continue moving and nothing will get locked into a certain area. Okay.
Oh my goodness. We just got a little piece of education there. Now I
There.
gotta now I
Oh,
gotta figure out. I'm looking at those like, how can I tell if they're cool or warm? But I think I kind of see it.
yeah. I mean, and when you get into some of the purples, you'll kind of get an idea. Let me pull the purples because you're going to be able to see now. In fact, here, let me grab the hot pink. We're going to go into the blue. Okay. So clearly this hot pink, and I'm going to turn the light off so that way you have a better chance of seeing color, maybe. Can you see this has a warmth to it for the pink?
Yes. Yeah.
And then going into this sort of magenta fuchsia, it is still a warm color.
Uh-huh.
This, I don't know what we would call this one. Um,
Warm.
it's still warm. I don't remember the color name,
Looks
but
like
this
plum. I'm gonna call it plum.
plum, yeah, it's a very warm plum.
So we did have a question. Everybody wants to know where to get those fabrics.
Okay, again, being that I'm a Moda designer, my go-to solids are Bella solids. Those are the Moda solids. There are, I mean, any solid out there is fine. The pure solids from Art Gallery are delightful. Kona solids from Robert Kaufman are great. I will say they do have a thicker weave, Kona does, and so at times it can feel a little dense, but maybe that's also what you want. And then same thing with Art Galleries. They use like a really nice Pima cotton, so their cottons even feel lighter, more like a sateen sheet. And they're just a little thinner. There's no right or wrong. These are Bella solids. I have what I call my favorite 64. You can see my stack right over here. So the favorite 64, I have all 64 bolts tucked under my desk over here. If someone really is dying for the favorite 64, email me. But let me tell you, I am not a fabric store. So when I say you get a 1 yard bundle option, that's what you get. There are no fat quarters. There are no half yards. It hurts to cut, and there's 64 of those suckers. But you can use so many of them. I will say this too. A lot of folks did take me up on getting a 1 yard bundle of the favorite 64. And you can stretch that entire bundle through the entire Rainbow Quilt Color Method book and just add background fabrics where you need, whites or blenders, that type of thing. So a lot of people did get the favorite 64 and just add background fabric in the spots where you need background. And you can work through the entire book that way. It's kind of awesome. Okay, we're still at warm. This one is warm too. Can you see the warmth in that with these colors?
Yes.
All right. Here's my blue is definitely going to be cool. And if you look at this purple, it has a blue undertone to it. But then bringing it together, it's kind of that happy medium of like, oh, I see where these two touch on the warmth and cool scale where they cross over, but it's still a cool purple as opposed to these being warm purples over here. Alrighty. I am going to let the first person who comments tell us what section of colors we're going to start with. I'm just going to do 2 wedges. So we can start with the greens, limes and greens, blues, and one sort of bluey periwinkle purple, the purples and magentas I just showed you, or the corals and yellowy oranges. So someone gets to comment. What are we starting with?
Okay, someone's commented really quick warm, and then somebody else commented blues.
Well, warm got the first comment, so someone better quickly say pinks or orange.
Okay, we got coral.
All right, that works. That's coral. All right, so we're gonna start with this batch first, then, right here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna set these guys over. Oh, everything is in the way. We're gonna go ahead and turn my iron on, and we're gonna pop open this guy. I am gonna, when I show you how to use the ruler to quilt with, I'm gonna pull out my spacer tool that we got in box 1. So that way, if you did not get box 1 and you don't have the spacer tool, this way you can see how to do it, how to use it. Okay, so we've got the sheet. I'm essentially going to show you 2 wedges, okay? So we need 2A, 2B, and 2C cut out. This is definitely where I think it is very handy and helpful to have. I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3. We'll do those. Okay. I think it's really handy and helpful to have 2 sizes of rotary cutters when I'm doing this, and I'll show you why. Anytime I cut on an inside curve, so like right here where it's concave inward, I like using the itty bitty 28 millimeter rotary cutter because it goes through those inward curves easier than a 45 millimeter or the 60 millimeter where it's such a big circle that you can nick the acrylic and eventually damage your blade by doing that. So I'll use the big ones for the straight edges and the outward curves, but I do tend to use the 28 millimeter for anything interior. Now this one is a light enough, I mean, I told you they're gentle curves, so it's very gentle there. But especially if you're doing like, you know, full quarter circle curves like we did on the double dip template, and that was in, I think, box 1 when we had the double dip cutting template. It's a full quarter circle. Okay, let's get these cut out. Let's start with, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an A and a B from this one. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So really fast, let's set this down. We've got, here's my B. Is this the right way to cut? No, I'm aware of that. I don't need hate mail telling me I'm a horrible rotary cutter. I'm just trying to get this done. All right, there's a B. And let's do an A. Also, I want you all to see this too. Let me set this aside. So A fits inside of C. So it does help cut down on your amount of acrylic that you have. But it also then, this piece being as big as it is, it kind of gives you an extra little handhold in here to be able to grip that with your fingers if you need to. All right, let's do an A. And so that cut edge, I'm just going to use that cut edge to line it up with this one straight edge here. I think what I'm going to do is I'll just do a couple of these. That way I'm not doing the whole thing. All right, so I've got an A and a B. At some point I will need a C as well, so let's go ahead and cut that one out. And I clearly did not position this adequately to use my fabric to the best of the abilities. All right, 28 millimeter right here. We'll go ahead and use it. Come out. Let's move this. Sorry if you're looking at my back. Okay. And this is now a usable scrap that goes into my usable scrap pile because I can surely get a goose or something out of that later on. Not usable. And if I were a pair of scissors, where would I be? All right, so I've got my A, B, and C's from the coral. Yeah? We're just going to toss the fabric. Let's do the next color set, which is going to be this sort of bright mandarin color. FYI, this might be one of my most favorite colors ever. But see what I mean? I cut my 1 yard bundle and I've just been using it to go through my quilts, and there's plenty there. Plenty, plenty. Okay, let's get that one done. How about any other questions? Anything anybody wants to know while we're getting these cuts so we can piece them together? Let's try this up. Maybe you'll see why I don't care for this one on the inside curve. So I'm having to be more careful right here as I rotate because that blade is bigger around and I don't want to take the chance of nicking the acrylic and dulling the blade at all. So that is why on those inside curves. I like the 28 millimeter. I am heading to, while I'm getting this cut, I am heading to Fayetteville, Georgia for Black Friday and Super Saturday. I will be at the Sew Sonoya shop where we will be highlighting basically the High Flight fabric collection, the one that I told you that's shipping right now. It is all aviation based, and since Atlanta is the main hub for Delta pilots, so Sonoya is having me, and we are going to do a big shindig with the Rainbow Quilt Color Method book, but it'll be all of the quilts done in the High Flight fabric. So we'll have you know, the Tutti Frutti templates, the double dip templates, the roulette templates. Everything will be there, and all different quilts that are not completely in your face rainbow. Let's see here. Where are we going to be after that? After that, I'll be teaching at a retreat. So that one probably isn't very helpful if you have not signed up for the retreat. After that, in January, January, this gets fun. Don't quote me on the dates. I want to say it's somewhere around the 20th or something. And if someone tells me what day of the week that is, I can confirm. But I will be with a guild up near the Villages. And then I'll be with a quilt shop, doing a couple days of classes in Melbourne. And then another guild down in Melbourne. Seaside Peacemakers, I want to say, is that guild. And, all right, still some usable pieces there. I still need to trim this one. Let's see here. So February, we've got Boise, I know for sure. February is also QuiltCon, which is in Raleigh. I believe I will be there helping the Bernina machine dealer. Will be on the Q series. Okay, let's do one more. Let me get one more set, and then we're good. Okay, where else? March. In my head. Somewhere in March, I am in Phoenix at the Bernina Connection. And then there's a guild up in Prescott Valley that I will be at in March. What else? Where else? Everything got really quiet, and I just feel like I'm talking to air.
Oh, well, I can talk to you if you want. I think you were really saying you missed me.
I do. I absolutely do. Let's see here. Oh, that's what I wanted to say too. Okay, on the big roulette cutting template set. The big roulette cutting template set, there are those 2 size geese then for the foundation paper piecing of the geese. The smaller goose, the one that I showed you all, and I said, remember this goose, this triangle shape? So the smaller one is the same as the trickle triangle size. So if you've got the roulette cutting template set, and for whatever reason the fabric you're using to make trickle, maybe you want to fussy cut it, you can use the small triangle template from the roulette cutting template set to fussy cut your trickle geese. Which, you know, when I did it, it was just sort of tone on tone, solidy blender type colors. But I've done it as well. I made a pillow where I shrunk it down, and I did use the template to fussy cut my fabric. I just cut 2 B pieces, y'all. Someone needs to take better care of me. We're done with B.
Stop with the B, Sarah.
Okay,
I'll try to keep an eye on you.
cannot believe I did that. I can't believe I did that.
Someone just asked, can you layer the fabric on this?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I just didn't because that would mean I have to clear off everything and be a little more organized. And yeah, you can certainly layer them. And it would just depend on how many layers you can do to be efficient as far as what you're cutting. But yeah, you can certainly layer them. Let's get one more big piece and I'm going to show you this. In fact, let's use the edge of my cut right here. Maximize it. We're good. We're good. We're good. Inside curve. I would probably feel comfortable doing about 4 at a time and no more than that personally. And if you look at the mat underneath me, this is the Sew Tights cutting mat. It's magnetic. So if you're familiar at all, like, let me show you this. I should have been showing you this to begin with. Since it's magnetic, my little magnetic boosters, I can use those as well to help hold my templates down when I'm cutting, which is handy. I have done it then, you know, with layers of fabric. So you can do multiple layers of fabric and this helps hold everything down. Okay, we did that. We're good. We're going to set the pieces over so I don't lose them. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. The pattern is in the book. Don't need that. I'm going to set this over. And I've got my big old 5-foot wool pressing pad underneath there, which is so handy. All right. So let's organize these, and that way we can get a wedge put together. So if I'm doing them in order, I realize it's not pressed. I am very aware. All right, so there are those. So I'm going to move them over. So this orange one would come over here, which means that orange would go here. This pink would go here. So hopefully that makes sense. I suppose I should probably cut whatever this one would be of the B. Dad, burn it. See? All right. We ready to put this wedge together? Does that make sense?
Let's do it.
I think that makes sense. Okay, so we are going to reposition. So I've got that one wedge ready to go. I'm going to set these aside. I am going to grab my wood pressing block because you're going to see how handy a pressing block or a tailor's clapper is to have. And let me just go ahead and give this a press. All right. If you have the book, there is an entire section that will help you with curved piecing. And this isn't truly curved. I mean, it's curved, but it's not crazy curves. That said, formally on paper, I am going to encourage you to pin or glue based when you do these. You're going to see how Sari actually operates because sometimes she's in a hurry and just doesn't do that. All right, we're going to move y'all over. Reposition. You're going to come over here and then you're going to tell me if you can see it. Okay. We're caught on quilts. How's that? You good?
That looks perfect.
Fantastic. All righty. So I have 50 weight thread. I have my 1/4 inch foot on my machine. And I'm going to start with the 2 smaller pieces, the A and the B. So yes, they do not line up right here. Hopefully, maybe I can turn the lights down on this so you can see. I think the glare is a little crazy. Let me turn. Nope, that's not the one I want. Sorry.
Oh, I love that you have the red machine. I just feel like that is so you.
I love it so much. Okay, can you see better now?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, I love this machine. In fact, if you look at the block design on the front of this machine, coincidentally, it looks very similar to the cover of my book.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. Okay, so just touching, they don't line up, but that's because there's seam allowance built in. So when you overlap them, they do line up correctly. So I will say it is sometimes handy to just finger press the center, and I'm going to tell you this in that pattern anyways. Finger press the center so you know where to line up the centers anyways. And if you want to stick a pin, all right, so it's going to go this way. This is another thing I love about Moda, the Bella Solids. There's no right side, wrong side, so you really can't mess that one up. All right, so I just aligned my center seams with each other, okay? So at least the center currently is positioned together. And then I'm just gonna wiggle it over and align my two edges here into one corner. Got that? And if you want a glue based, you can totally glue based and just do little dabs of washable glue within that seam allowance area. All right, it's right here. So you are going to be sewing, bias stuff here too. Put this down, 1/4 inch seam, because I haven't sewn yet. There we go. And so you're just going to kind of wiggle and walk that curve. You're just always looking at the edges here of that seam allowance. And so right here, I've hit center just about. You can see that they're not lined up. I think you can see that. They're not lined up. But that's where you just start wiggling it and moving the bottom one and rotating the top piece. And I stop and kind of lift my presser foot and I'll move pieces over to make sure everything lines up. And then when I come right off, let's cut that. All right, and the pattern will tell you for your even number wedges. So if you want to number them, let's call odd numbers first. So this will be wedge 1. Say wedge 1, we're going to press the seam towards this teeny piece, the A piece. So then your even numbered, your 2, 4, 6, 8, you're going to press the wedges the opposite direction. And that way, when you go to piece them together, then they will nest. So if you have odd numbers going pressed towards the small piece and then even numbers pressed towards the big piece, when you put them right sides together, you can nest the seams together that way. But see how, that's one pin in the middle and it works just great. So let's do one more piece here and you can see how this wedge gets set up. Of course, now that I've got this started, I'm going to want to get this done so that way I can see it in real life. I just think it's going to be so pretty. All right, finger press the two centers. So hopefully you can see that. Put them right sides together. Line up those finger presses. This is going to be a more noticeable arc here because there's more of the circle you're seeing. So you can see how it does not line up. And you're just going to rotate it to line those two edges up where you're going to start sewing. So they're totally lined up now.
Okay, Sarah, we've got questions.
Yes, shoot them.
Okay, so the first one is, are the fabrics in the boxes the same fabric company and the same colors so we can order more?
So the fabrics in the box, they are Moda. So yes, it's the same company, but they're printed. So they're
So
these
that's
three.
the first tree skirt we showed you is those colors.
Right, the first tree skirt, as well as a fourth color, which was using one of the fat quarters from box 2. Now, we can definitely, and Stacy, you'll have to let me know what y'all's inventory is if people want to order more of the box 3 fabric, or if there's any box 2 fabric remaining to do that.
Oh no, box 2 fabric I think is all gone for sure.
Okay.
We
And
might have some extra box 3 fabric. We'll have to see where everything shakes out, but yeah, there is a possibility of having some extra. Are you all is the that fabric gone at Moda?
I can double check, because being that they're, older collections, they might be gone. Okay, FYI, I just rotated it. I got to the center and I rotated, lined up my edges. Coming off the end here. I can certainly look, and if that's the case, we can get more sent to you.
Okay.
All right, remember, this is my odd row, so I'm pressing towards the small end. So I'm going to press this seam towards the small end. That said, if enough people are interested in the solids, these 16 solids, perhaps y'all might need to twist Stacy's arm now. Perhaps So Steady would want those 16 bolts in order to cut half yards or full yards for y'all.
Oh,
I mean,
there you
I'm not
go.
promising that they will, but I'm saying if you ask nicely enough, and a lot of you start doing it right now, going, please, 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 they're solids. The Bella solids are not going to go out of stock.
Oh yeah,
So
the
there you go.
solids are solid. They're always so. And then I would also encourage every Moda, fabric provider out there most likely has a variety of solids. Maybe not
Right.
all 16, but yeah.
But enough that you can piecemeal it. And especially if you, I mean,
Yeah.
how pretty would this be with the Moda grunge or the speckled fabric?
Oh my
Or
gosh.
maybe here's another thing that I do want to do at some point, y'all. So don't think you don't have to stop at just solids. Take some of your jelly rolls or your strips and just put together a quick patchwork piece and use that section to cut out with your template. And maybe this section is like a patchwork strips. Same thing down here. It could be patchwork strips. You could do all sorts of fun things within each section because primarily, I mean, you could even just quilt whatever type of block you want. And say you have your quilted block. Well, here, let's say this is my quilted, or not even my quilted, my pieced thing that I want to use. I could then take my template and set it over that piece and cut it out to now that is going to be.
Oh, how fun is that?
So you can do a lot with these. You don't have to have
Yeah.
just solid fabric cut out from them at all.
Another question that came in, someone said they'd like a picture of all 16 colors.
I can do that. We'll do that when we're all done. I will post it to my social media. So everyone, if you're on Instagram and or Facebook, everything is under Sariditty. It is SARIDITTY. Sorry, I'm coughing. So Sariditty. And I'll also make sure So Steady gets the picture too, so they can post it. But I'll post it online so you can see those colors. That doesn't necessarily mean I know the colors off the top of my head, but I'll do my best to figure that out.
And then final question, someone said, what brand of thread matches those fabric colors?
So believe me when I tell you, I don't go with matching thread. I am currently using, in fact, I will cut this off so you can see. I go with the Magic Warm or the Magic Cool. I'm currently using Aurifil 50 weight, so it's a nice sturdy cotton, but it's also thin enough that it's not going to add bulk and weight to my seams. This is my neutral warm color that I use on almost everything. This is color 2309. And then color 2600 is my Magic Cool color. And here's my Magic Cool color. So these I use for piecing pretty much everything where they're neutral. And being that it's a 50 weight thread, it's going to soak in and take on the tone of the fabric that's behind it. So you saw on this one, now granted it's in the seam, so you're not going to see it, but if I were even quilting with it, 50 weight thread, do you see how that just sort of blends into the fabric that's behind it?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks really good.
So that's my all-encompassing warm is the 2309. And my all-encompassing cool color, let me grab these cool blues right here, periwinkles. So this is the 2600. And you can see how it just sort of melts in to the cools.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended.
Yep. That's my trick for piecing. Otherwise, I think, now that said, let me say this. Say if I'm doing a whole bunch of black and navy and whatever, or just red and hot pink everywhere, I'll color coordinate my 50 weight thread at that point. But if it's just like I'm doing right here, lots of colors, lots of piecing, then I'm just going to go for the neutral. It soaks in. And as long as I'm using a nice enough stitch, which I'm using a 2.25 stitch length, so everything is nice and secure. And so it's not going to just pop up through. You're not going to really see that at all. So that's how I choose that. And hopefully that answers that question. All right, someone choose. Are we going to use magenta or lime?
Magenta.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could let other people choose.
You're probably like, no, I wanted lime.
I know.
All right. I'm not using the appropriate thread stand on this currently because I didn't grab it. But we're just going to, for all intents and purposes, we're going to do it this way. I do want to show you how to use that ruler for quilting on the panel. And here we go. I love an automatic threader. I'm going to change to my ruler foot. So I've got the 72 foot for my machine. This is the Bernina ruler foot. I have lowered the feed dogs. Feed dogs are gone. That also means I no longer have stitch regulation on this machine. So the stitch length is going to be dependent on the pressure on my foot and how quickly I'm moving the fabric. So that said, and I'll tell you all this in any quilting class I ever teach, set your speed dial to the max pedal to the metal speed that you like. If you're using rulers, I'm going to suggest it's on the slower side. But this way, this is where I tell everyone in class, like, can you pat your head and rub your belly perfectly at the same time? Probably not. So this way, by setting your speed dial to the max speed possible, and that way all you have to do is press your foot to the ground. It's like your hand on your belly. You're no longer having to do circles. It's just holding the belly all the way. And now all you have to do is pat your head. And that way it takes out some of the guesswork. Okay, let's grab that panel. In fact, let's grab the one I'd already been quilting on because why not? Here, let's do this. Okay, so I've already been quilting on this one. But we've used the embroidery designs in here on these guys. Let's use the ruler to outline this triangle so you can really get a good idea of how that works there. How's that sound? We shall. Okay, so I'm going to grab my quilting rulers and I want to show you, since these ones are unpackaged. So both the largest ruler, you can see along one edge, there's inch markings. This is, I believe, a 9.5 inch. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, you get 9.5 inches of just straight edge markings if you want. And then the inside edge also has some inch markings. I think it's 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 inches. And then we did just a 3-inch area on the inside of the smaller one. And not to say one is better or different. Sometimes it just depends on the space you're quilting or how you're doing things. But let's use the big one since then you can see everything. And the sheet in the box will also tell you how to use these markings here. You've got your 90 degrees, your 180 degrees, and then you've got your 30 degrees off of center. So this right here is a 60-degree angle, okay? When you set the needle foot or the foot up into this little here, that notch, it's going to stop. You're always 1/4 inch away from your ruler foot, so it's going to line up right here with those crosshairs. Okay. All right. So to outline this guy, you're going to start and put the, let's see here, we need to do a needle down up because I want to grab my tail. Now, this is where I tell y'all, I am used to quilting on my cue, whether it be the stand-up long arm where I feel happiest or the sit-down where I'm used to teaching. So quilting on a domestic, you all might have little tips and tricks for me because this is not normal for me. All right, since I machine cut off the thread tail, the bobbin thread tail, it was a little small. We got that. All right, we're gonna lock it in here. Okay, I have my feed dogs down. I've got my speed dial I mean, it's just a hair pass fast. All right, we've got options. You can line the ruler up next to the foot so nothing is connected. It's just using a straight edge ruler here, which is handy because then that side that has the ruler markings you can use. This is where I want to show you by using the spacer tool. This was in box 1. This has all the markings from 1/8 of an inch all the way down around to 1 inch. So when I use it with my rulers, I go to the 1/4 inch marking right here. And I'm going to place the base of the 1/4 inch where I want to sew and then push the ruler up to it. And that way I know it's placed exactly 1/4 of an inch away. So by pushing the ruler into the 1/4 inch tooth, which it's doing right here. So if I have my 1/4 inch tooth and I press it against there, I know that my needle is going to end up at the 1/4 inch kind of straight line, the crosshair here. And that's how I use my spacer tool to help me figure out where I'm going on things. Additionally, you can put it on this side or even like this. There's another inch line in here. And that way I can push against it and still have ruler on this side to sort of help hold fabric down. But again, I'm going to use that 1/4 inch spacer tool, line it up so I know my ruler is positioned where it needs to go. This is the moment where I need someone to call me out for not having my Sew Steady table installed on my machine. I have just the regular, like the flat insert that, if you can tell, it has a bit of a curved front. Please don't use that when you use rulers. It's not safe.
That sounds like it's probably my job to call you out.
Yeah, I know, right? Kara, where is it? You know what, Stacy? It's not here right now. So it
I'll
just
be
isn't.
working on getting you one of those.
All right. Always quilt where your frame is. Okay, so my hands are my quilt frame. And I just stopped. My lights aren't on, so it's hard for me to see. I just stopped at the tip of that triangle. Okay, so I'm in the ditch. Let's see if y'all can see that. All right, so can you see here? Sort of, kind of. We'll get there. We'll come in closer. Let's come in closer, shall we? And if you look closely, you can see where I started moving quicker because some of my stitches are a little bit longer right there, as opposed to on the more like 2.5 millimeter-ish length here and here. I started moving faster right in the middle. So those are a little bit larger. And I think I inhaled a piece of fabric dust because I keep choking on nothing. Alrighty, let's rotate. Let's do this other edge. In fact, let's use this guy, the inside. I'll remind everyone too that the ruler markings, every single Sariditty ruler, if you can feel the ruler marking, that means it touches the fabric. If you can feel the ruler marking and it's facing up, you have it upside down. And that just keeps everything more consistent. That way your markings are touching fabric directly instead of having, in this case, 1/4 of an inch lift from the fabric top. All right, this is also where it's handy. My edge right here, this line that you can see coming across, when I rotate this to line it up to come down this length of the ruler. Now, yes, I can still use my spacer tool to ensure that I'm positioned correctly, but that crosshair line is also going to line up on my 60-degree triangle. So my line here is right over the seam of the triangle right here. Okay. Use this. Here we go. Slow and steady wins the race. See, my foot is pedal to the metal. I'm not changing anything with the foot speed at all. Pedal to the metal. Stop when my hands get to the end. Reposition. Now there is no seam for it to touch for me to check. But if I look up above that 30-degree line that I showed you at the beginning, up here, it lines up right on top of my stitch line. So as long as it's directly on top of what I stitched or that seam line, I'm still lined up. Pedal to the metal, nice and easy. I'm going to come all the way down to the point. we'll just go ahead and tie it off. That way you can see it. I'm not rotating and doing the other edge because being that there's no really kind of overhang, I don't want to get too close to the edge. But see how using that, I mean, I was able to get to the point, rotate, and use the markings plus the spacer tool just to make sure I could stitch in the ditch right where I wanted to be. But you don't have to be in the ditch either. You can certainly go around one. Let's do this one where we do, you know, slightly outside the piece. And once again, I have cut the thread tail off really short. So let's see if we can get that. How about maybe 1/8 of an inch? Let me pull that up. Can I get it? I think I got it, y'all. I did. Okay. All right.
So Sarah, I wanted to let you know that because we wanted to get everybody a little bit of a deal today,
Yes.
I'm gonna do our 20% off.
Oh,
I know.
you're a sucker.
It's just the season of giving, Sarah.
I know. You're so good.
I can't help myself.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to be at 1/8. Sorry, I'm trying to just get this positioned. Okay. There we go. We are ready. All righty. So if they order when? Today or this week or what?
Well, we have a little coupon code going across the screen right now. And
Okay,
it's
yeah.
today only. It's during this little live.
Oh
But
my
we've got the
goodness.
deal day 20. So, and we added your amazing box and
Okay.
cutting tools to it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, if any of y'all do decide to make a Christmas tree skirt or a tree skirt of any kind, it doesn't have to be Christmas. It could be a Valentine's tree skirt. It could be a poinsettia tree skirt. It could be whatever. I would love for you to tag me and show me because I'm all about it. I love these and I just think this is such a fun little design. So please, please, please make your beautiful things and send me pictures because I want to see. And chances are good I'll repost it because, like I said, remember how I said I'm busy and I don't have time for anything? I don't even have time to post my own content lately. All right, right here. So I'm stitching just outside the seam, that line. So I'm like 1/8 of an inch outside of it, meaning I stopped 1/8 of an inch beyond my point. So now when I rotate it and I'm using the marking on the ruler, so that crosshair right here, that crosshair, I'm going to line that up, not over the seam line, but over my stitch line that I just did. And that's going to ensure that I'm traveling down where I need to travel. And then pedal to the metal. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm still just outside that seam. I need to reposition my hands. I'm going to extend just beyond the point. We'll go ahead and cut it so you can see that too. But this way you can see how you can extend just outside. And this is nice. I like this when I'm quilting designs like this. I will tend to go just outside the seam. Now I probably would not be using hot pink thread with white. I would probably be using something that blends a little bit more. But then that allows that full piece to kind of puff and pop out with the batting. Instead of going right down into the seam allowance and kind of burying that, it'll allow everything to pop forward. That's my little tip for you on that. And there you have it. We've done the ruler quilting. We've cut some templates. I now definitely need to make that full 16 color tree skirt because it's really pretty and I kind of want to do that. I will take a photo. As soon as we're done here, I'll get a photo of those 16 colors put together. They're really pretty. Even looking at them right here, they're really pretty. We'll do that. And then, you know, Sweet Talk Stacy. We'll see if they want to carry those that we can use in other projects going forward too, y'all. Or if you want the whole kit and caboodle, I have all 64 colors here, but.
Okay, someone asked if we'll honor the deal date through the end of the day, and the answer is yes. Okay, today only. That's fair because people are going to watch this broadcast a little bit later and we don't want to like
Now that
penalize
said,
them.
Stacy, I'm gonna be the one to be like, well, I didn't see it until 8 o'clock tonight, and I don't have time. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Personally, I'd say give them 24 hours.
Okay, we're going to give them through tomorrow. Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
There,
And
so
yes,
through Thursday, the 13th,
it
end
will
of day.
and it will apply to the box too, which will basically, since we took away the subscription, give them the same price as if they were to sign up.
Well, see, there you go.
See, we are so sweet.
I know.
I
I like to do this whole tree skirt now, y'all. I really can.
love it.
And I'm going to dig out my embroidery module so I can do some of the freestanding lace that y'all saw at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
If you have questions, please, please, please shoot them our way. And if you're on social, I'm there. I may not be posting every 5 seconds, but I'm there and I'll see your messages if you message me. And I will do
Excellent.
my best to answer something for you.
I think we answered most of the questions.
And
And so if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot us over a message, give us a call, or email us at info@SewStudy.
yeah,
And but we will look forward to being able to get everybody set up. Somebody said the code didn't work, so maybe try again because I did add it kind of in the middle. So I don't know if you bought earlier, but it says it should be working. Oh, hold on. It was still updating, maybe. Just one second. Wait for a minute, please. All
wait for
right.
it. Wait for it.
Let's see if it's going to update now. It should work.
Yay. All right. I'm going to
Okay.
get the rest of my pieces cut, y'all. Get you a photo of these beautiful colors. My dog is going crazy, barking at something outside. I mean, seriously, aren't these? They're so happy. They're just happy. I love them.
Okay. Perfect. They are happy. I
Awesome.
love them.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, let me go ahead and just remind everyone they're going to be getting that gorgeous gift if you signed up. That was in the email that we sent. So most of you, I believe, did sign up. So definitely take advantage of that. But we will look forward to making sure that your coupon is working. Um,
Yay.
and give us a call if you have any problems. But I believe it should be working now. So
I just
thank you all.
before we hang up, I just had a thought that I want to try something just to make sure that I'm not telling you something incorrect. 42. Okay, guess what, ladies and gents? If you have a layer cake, so there are 16 wedges on this guy. So layer cake is 42 squares. Your big PC will use one layer cake. So there's 16. Okay, meaning you still have 42, 22 plus 4, you still have 26 pieces remaining. So of those 26 pieces, you can do a single on each one or choose 16 more, and you can actually fit pieces A and B on a layer cake square too. So even a full layer cake, you can do this project. FYI.
Oh, I love that.
And there you go.
Okay. That's
Now
perfect. All right. So everyone give me a little bit more time and I will make sure your box is included, okay? Because I told them it would be, so I'm going to make sure it's included in the amazing items that you can take advantage of. So creative collection. Okay. So we're working on getting that added and we will go ahead and look forward to, and somebody asked, what can they tell is on sale? Well, we're giving you this little deal here. So we're going to include the creative collection box and then yeah, that should be that on top of everything else you should be able to take advantage of.
right.
So
The box, then there's a piece of paper inside, and there is a coupon code you can use if you want to get anything else Sariditty from the SewStudy
after.
website. Yeah, so
Yeah.
after you get your box, there will be one of those papers in there. There's a code. So if you want to
Mhm.
get the book through So Steady, if you want to get
Mhm.
it through me, you can do that too. But I don't do the codes. Only So Steady does the codes. You can get the book. You can get the full roulette template set. You can get any of the other quilting rulers. So anything else, that spacer tool is on there. So if anything else, once you get your box, use that code and you can order from So Steady's website anything else you want to do. Because Stacy's wonderful and she handles sales for me because I just
I
the
do my
brain is not
best.
there. The brain
Yeah.
space is not there. The talent is here. Everything else is not there.
Well, we are super excited, and I'm still working on updating that code, but we're going to get it figured out for everybody, and we'll look forward to having you take advantage of it. Okay, guys?
Yep. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you. Have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.